What's up? I am the Scienceman, and I will be starting us off by talking about hibernation, or as the video likes to say, the superheroes of sleeping. Wish I could sleep for as long as some of these guys would, and some of these animals do, but fortunately I don't quite have that ability. Two animals I'll be talking about today are the bear and the turtle, which have some both very interesting and different processes to hibernate. Bears, you probably already know, hibernate, but can take them quite a bit of time to get ready. It's kind of like someone getting ready for bed on their own. And someone also like to dessert a late night snack or dessert right before bedtime. But for bears, that kind of extra food is really important for them. We might not need that extra midnight snack, the extra weight that we might get from it. It's really important to have for our bears. In fact, bears can put on as much as 30 pounds a week. It's about a 10 to 20% weight gain. I mean, about a 150-pound person would gain between 15 to 30 pounds a week. But bears will overwinter and will lose between 15 to 30% of their body weight during the winter months just to keep them warm, meaning that same 150-pound person will go down to between 105 to 127 pounds. That person would just be barely able to function. Sorry, just couldn't help myself with the puns there. But where do bears hibernate during the winter? They can't just hang out in the snow and freeze their little butts off. Well, just like us after eating a big meal or a late night snack, we'll work our way into the bedroom, into our bed to have a sleep off that extra weight that we may have gained from that extra meal. And bears, they need to find a place to hibernate. Oftentimes it's a den, and that can be something underneath the tree roots or in a rocky cave. It all depends on the size of the bear, if she's a mother, and also where the bear is from, about the size, and even this place that they can find in. Bears also slow down their heartbeat fantastically well. They also slow down their breathing. Because if their heart and lungs are barely working, then they don't have to use up as much extra weight than they gained from the fall months quite as quickly. Because if a bear's heart and lungs are barely working, then they don't need to go through the body weight and their body fat that they may have gained during the fall months, and they can stay in their caves and stay warm for a much longer period of time. Bear hibernating heart rate is about 8 to 9 beats per minute, meaning their heart may only beat once about every 7 seconds. Now, as people, we can slow our heartbeats down to about 70 beats per minute. That's about 8 beats per 7 seconds. Much more than that 1 beat per 7 seconds for the bear. If you're tired of hearing about the math there, I'm going to be done for this video. But I still want to talk about one more really cool bear fact. That's because bears are so skilled at hibernating that they can take some of the chemicals from their urine while still hibernating, and they can make themselves stronger. If you don't believe me, I've actually put a link in the description with the source. And what's really cool is they can convert their urea, which is found in their urine, into a nitrogen, which can help build up their muscle mass. So it's a very crazy ability that is really interesting with bears. I'm still just barely getting started because there's still another animal to discuss. That's the turtle. Because how do they survive the harsh conditions of winter? If you're sick of the puns, you're in luck, because I could not think of any turtle puns to have for the rest of this video. But for how do the turtles survive the winter, there's still some really interesting strategies in how they work it. And instead of packing on the pounds like the bear did, turtles just learn how to deal with the freeze. And if you live in part of the world where the weather can get cold and winter can be a frozen pain in the butt, especially when your fingers are getting a little chilly and you're want to avoid the painful situation of frostbite as much as possible. Probably familiar with how annoying that cold weather can get. But if you live somewhere where it's nice and warm and tropical, well, first off, you lucked out. But if you want to understand what it's like, you stick your hand in a nice cold bowl of ice and water. Make sure that's nice and the water's almost nice and freezing. And then you'll find out really quickly in just a couple of minutes what it's like to be up here in these colder conditions. Turtles don't have to really deal with frostbite or that cold winter weather. Instead, they produce an antifreeze. Though not the exact same type of antifreeze that you'll find in your car in the winter. Turtles will first bury themselves under the mud, under the water, and produce antifreeze chemicals and just wait out the winter. And what it does is it prevents a lot of the damages from frostbite that we might feel as people. Turtles, they don't really have to worry about. And then once spring comes along and the temperatures heat up, out come the turtles and they're ready for the new year ahead. Gosh, I wish I was just a turtle sometimes and not have to worry about the freezing temperatures of the cold. Now, for turtles, it's an exciting time of the year. You're finally getting to explore and enjoy the warm weather, especially as a young turtle. Especially if it's your first year dealing with winter, you can be excited for what's going to lie ahead. This might be a little nerve-wracking because of some of the bigger animals out there. It's kind of like the first day of high school or middle school. You're starting in a new, exciting place, a new building maybe. But you might be a little nervous because some of the people in some of the higher grades are probably a bit bigger than you. It might seem a little intimidating at first. And it's going to be the same thing as for the turtles over there who are just coming out to explore the warm days ahead. But you don't have to worry. I bet you're probably a bit bigger than some of the turtles out there. In fact, some species of turtles, especially the freshwater turtles, can start off quite small. Species like the northern red-bellied cooter hatch at only about 1 inch long. That's smaller than a York peppermint patty. It was actually really tough for red-bellied cooters for a very, very long time. Not only because of how small they are, but how small their population was. There was only about 300 turtles back in the 1980s that were red-bellied cooters. Luckily, there's been a lot of work to make sure that the turtles can come back, and they've been bred to over 3,000 in numbers. In fact, there's a lot that we can do to help turtles, just like our red-bellied cooters or turtles all over the world. One is if you get a pet turtle, you don't want to get it from the wild. We want to keep our wild turtles wild. And also, it's important for us to keep in mind that some species of turtles can live to over 50 years. So make sure that you're ready for the time commitment. And please do not release your pet turtles in the wild. We want to keep our wild turtles wild. And our turtles that we have at home, keep them at home. And the second thing is, if you see a turtle crossing the road, you want to help it and make sure it gets across the road safely. Whether that's just keeping an eye on it, make sure no cars are around, keeping yourself safe and that turtle safe as much as possible. And also making sure that turtle gets to the direction it wants to go in. Even if it's going away from a body of water, turtles generally know where they're going, and they are very stubborn and will try again and again to make their way across. The third thing you can do is if you know there are a lot of turtles crossing somewhere, talk to your local town government or local wildlife agency and maybe get some signs posted in that area. And you can warn people that there are turtles around and have them slow down to make sure our turtles cross as safely as possible. Thank you so much for watching my video today. If you did enjoy it, please feel free to give it a like. And if you have other ideas for nature-related videos or any other questions about these animals, feel free to put in the comments down below, and I'll be more than happy to answer them, or more than happy to take your considerations for future videos, because you never might know. You might see your own ideas here on YouTube. Again, thanks for watching, and have a great day today, folks.